I'm here. I'm Nate, and Julie is here with me. She is joining me from the California area in the US and potentially has coffee. We haven't actually cleared that yet.
Oh,
We've been talking about other stuff. But anyway, welcome once again to everyone who's here.
Julie too
Hi,
is
Julie.
live in
oops.
Coffee Talk. So we're gonna say
Hold
welcome
on.
everyone to the next episode of Coffee Talk with Julie and Nate.
Sorry.
No problem.
It's always a little hairy in the beginning to like make sure that we've got the the Zoom up, the recording,
No, we got it. We
blah
got
blah
it. We're
blah. I
here.
got
We're
the
here.
chat screen up so people come and say hello. We'd love to say hi back. Um,
And we did have some feedback. We got some questions.
yes,
And
special guest today.
there you
So
have it. We have a special guest. Very excited to have a guest join us here on Coffee Talk. And that doesn't look anything like coffee. What are you drinking?
Now, water. I had coffee a little earlier today, so yeah.
Are we going to have to start doing this earlier so you actually get some real coffee in there?
Well, normally I would do it that way, but I woke up and I just needed to have a coffee sooner. You know how it is.
That makes sense.
Hello, Cindy. Cindy's watching.
Awesome.
And
So as always, we have the capacity to talk about stuff for much longer than our allotted 30 minutes. So we should probably get right to it.
I know. Yes.
Do you want to talk about, we got a question in the Facebook group. Should we address that first?
I think that would be great. Can you pull it up?
All right. It was about bell jars.
Mm.
We're gonna balance my drink there. What was it?
Yeah, I think they were asking.
Cindy's body asked for hot tea.
They were asking about bell jars and how to use them or something, and somebody else said, "What's a bell jar?" So I thought that was kind of interesting. It was a great question.
Yeah, good place to start. And of course, I mean, the vast majority, if not 100% of what we talk about here are tools from Access Consciousness. And bell jar is something that people are introduced to as they kind of begin taking classes. I don't even think it's in a bars class.
I don't even know if it's in Foundation anymore. It's probably in the reference material.
Yeah.
It's still a really viable tool and it's amazing.
Absolutely. So a bell jar, I mean, the name, if you just think about, I mean, the easy way that I think about it is when you go to a bakery that has fresh cakes or muffins or something, and they have them laying on the tray, and then they have this glass container that kind of like goes down and covers all of them. That's kind of the image of a bell jar, is you come down and you completely cover the entirety of whatever it is that you're covering. So you could bell jar, I mean, generally it would be like cakes or muffins or something, but in the case of Access, we're talking about bell jarring a person, generally.
And
so how does it work, Julie?
You want to use it when it's not like cutting off your awareness to the person. What it is that it sort of creates this space where the person's maybe insanity or energy or whatever that they're doing goes out, and instead of hitting everybody else and creating havoc, it hits the edges of that bell jar and it goes back to them so that they become aware of their behavior. And I've actually used it in a restaurant when there was one of those, crazy people talking to themselves, and it was just really annoying. So all you do is you just say, like, put a bell jar on them. Like, you don't even have to really do anything. You just ask for it. And literally within minutes, the person simmered down.
Yeah.
What do you have to add to that?
I was just thinking that I saw the question and I potentially should have looked up in the super old manuals that both you and I have, and looked up more of a definition of it. But as you said, like a bell jar is this the idea that you sort of encapsulate a person's craziness so it doesn't have that effect on someone else. So whatever insanity is going on, and generally it's in terms of like noise or something they're saying. It doesn't have to be, but it's a container for an energetic container for whatever's going on that's sort of coming out of them or off of them, and you can contain that for a time.
And the thing that you don't want to do is try to pick it up to see if it's working. Just leave it. Because here's the thing. One of my clients, she used to say, I like double bell jarred and put super glue around it because she didn't want to peek. The thing is that it disappears or dissipates when the person changes their behavior. And like the cool thing about it is that it really is about them having awareness for themselves. You know, if somebody's doing anger, if somebody's doing crazy, if somebody's doing jealousy, oh, I could have used that more. Shit. Anyway, you put a bell jar on it so that you're not at the effect of that energy, but they start to become aware that they're being it and doing it. And, you know, nobody wants to be in that energy for too long. So as soon as they stop, the bell jar disappears. So it's just a really cool tool for, you know, creating more consciousness on the planet.
And if I remember correctly, I don't have children, but I think that it is effective for children as well. Like I've heard it mentioned in the context of kids. Is that not true?
Probably. I haven't actually used it that way. But that would be a great idea. Oh, look, there's people watching.
Yeah, I saw that. We're going to have to... I'm going to have to really look that up.
Ruth, Vivian, hi. Yeah, so I would just say play with it, see what works for you. It's just another tool to create ease in your life.
Right. Yeah, and that's what it is. It's just to create ease in your life. And it's kind of when someone's super annoying. And yeah, and the tool of bell jar, I mean, this is years and years and years ago. I mean, the number of tools that have become available since bell jar, I mean, now we have numbers up to 20 and like a ton of other tools that were not necessarily available at the time. But I have always liked the idea of a bell jar, of like just popping down this container over top of somebody. I mean, like, all right, you can just sit and just stew in your insanity.
Like, do you remember, what was it, Agent 99 and what was that called? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Where they had the conference room that were like these bubbles over bell jars over their head. Anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know if that answered your question about bell jars, because there was two questions, is like one, how to use them, and the other one, what is it? Hopefully we've addressed that. If we have not, please let us know. And both or either one of us will do some research and come back with a more thoroughly developed answer for you next week. Yeah. So the other thing we mentioned at the top of the show was we have a special guest with us today.
Yes, and she's here. So shall we add her on?
She's here. Woohoo! So let's let her in. This is our first guest in Coffee Talk.
So exciting. And
I know, I'm super excited.
We started out Coffee Talk in quarantine, and it was the three of us. Cindy.
That's right. Hey, Cindy. Hey. What's up?
Hi.
That's awesome. Yay. The original coffee chat.
Although, thank God and everyone else, I'm not stuck in India still. I'm actually home.
But if it wasn't for you,
I just heard
this may not have been created, you know?
You're exactly right. Yeah.
It's
I
funny
got a message
how,
from someone there that they have another lockdown going in effect until the end of July.
Mhm.
oh,
Oh, wow. That's not fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
awesome.
you look great, Cindy.
Thank you. So do you. And so does Julie.
Thank you.
So fun to be with you
What a
guys. Just your guys' energy. I remember when we were first starting to just chit chat, check in with each other. We just started having these really in-depth conversations. It's like, wow, I started opening up about my relationship, what was going on. And Nate was giving some really great feedback, like from a man's perspective that I never, I always go to my girlfriends, um, you know, other facilitators that are females, but I never thought to ask a guy, like, hey, what is it like for a guy being married also in a relationship? So it's really great to listen to what you have to say. And I get everybody's
Fantastic.
different
Yay,
perspective.
Nate.
Yeah, well, it's super fun. It's so super fun to actually have a conversation with someone who's kind of willing to go there and willing to be
Mhm.
honest.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Well,
everybody has so many things that
live
they.
then. We weren't live, so I don't know how
Oh,
deep that would go. No.
that's all
I
right.
was like, whoa.
No, it's okay,
I was
but
like nervous when I was coming on, but okay. I'll be
but
open.
I do get that. Like, that's the thing is when you're in class and like when someone asks a question and it's a question from total vulnerability and total
Mhm.
willingness to be aware of like what's possible and what could change and be willing to say like where they are at the time, like that's what it takes.
Yeah.
But you, I mean, that was like what 2-3 months ago, and you've been changing and morphing and you're all over the place. What's going on?
Yeah, well, things, have definitely been changing. I've been asking a lot of questions. Super grateful for all these amazing classes that these facilitators are doing. Some book clubs that are out there that are amazing. And I was also sharing with Julie about her Beauty and the Breakup. Ta-da! Amazing book.
Oh, you have a
Um,
wait, show it again. I haven't seen a good copy.
Beauty and the Breakup.
There you go.
It's so beautiful. Look at Julie. So this amazing book contributed, one, to my relationship with my husband. And to be honest, I was really afraid to read it because I thought I'm going to see all the things that are wrong. I'm going to see, well, what if it's all my fault? What if, well, no, it's not my fault. It's all his fault. I mean, what if, all of these what ifs. But the beauty of this book is that you get to really clear all those fantasies that you had about marriage or fantasies that you had about what your partner should be like, what your partner should do, and really start to look at what you want to create. And if it's something you want to continue creating with this person, like really get like you've got choice. So after
It's a
reading
very
this book,
kind book. It's not to be feared.
it's not.
But I think you're right. So many people are afraid. They're like, oh my God, if I take this home, my husband's going to freak out and think that I want a divorce. But it doesn't say, how to get divorced. And actually, in there, I talk about some people actually create a better relationship and some people get divorced and some people apply it to their job and how to leave a job. I mean, it's really, it's just tools to create more of a happy life for you.
Yes, and even now with these times, and you could even apply it to breaking up with the old reality we were living in, like our old way of doing things, our old way of normal. Like, what is that anyways, So it's like, where can we start unwinding from that? Where can we start clearing the clutter from that, And it's a really cool book. It's an amazing book. There's so many pieces and gems in here, and just super grateful. So that's where I'm at. I'm just like, what's next? What do I want to create? What would be fun? What would be honoring for me and my body? It's such a different place versus like, oh, I got to do this. I should do this. Let me get my list done and all of that stuff. It's like, no, that's not what I'm choosing.
In conjunction with the book, one of the things that Julie mentioned also was you took her Committing to Your Life class.
Living. Committing to your living. Yeah, amazing class too. I never really liked that word committing. I felt like
it's such a it's kind of a heavy word for a lot of people. Like committing is
and
I mean it's almost like decision, And like when you take classes, you learn like deciding is bad. It's choosing and choices every 10 seconds. And commitment is like, that's a
Mhm.
decision. How is that a choice? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always tell it, once you commit, there's no other choice. Like you got to do it. But the way Julie shares the class is you always have choice. And
Yeah, and you know, what if committing is the superpower,
Mhm.
and part of our resistance to it is stepping into the potency that allows us to create the life we'd really like to be living.
Mhm.
They're doing gardening out there. I'm going to close my window.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of pieces in there that she shares, even about caring, the whole word about caring. But that really got broken down for me in terms of what true caring and nurturing for me and the people around me is. I feel like after that class, I've committed more to my life and living and my relationships than ever before, but not from a place of like I kind of at their beck and call, but it's like, wow, it's like when you fully commit, it's like having both feet in and also knowing you have choice. You're including them, but you're including more of yourself versus if you're not committing to that, whatever it is, you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but you're also 1 foot in, 1 foot out for you. You're not fully committing to you. So that totally shifted things for me too.
Yeah, closing the
Awesome.
back door.
Yes,
It's huge.
it is.
It's just huge. And then your whole life starts to take off.
Yes.
But, you know, it's a choice that each one of us has to make when we're ready to make it.
Mm-hmm. Now there's like so many choices, like I could do this, I could do that, you know, like all of these possibilities that they were always there, but I had the blinders on because I didn't want to commit. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So don't
Wow.
read the book. Don't read the book. It's, you know, too much information. I'm just kidding. No, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Aren't we going to do a book club? I think we're going to do a book club.
Yes.
Another one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how many book clubs do you have out there where the author is actually leading the book club? I mean, these book clubs I've been doing are awesome, but to have Julie there and ask questions and
Like, well, I don't want to compare, but like Dane is doing his book club with the Being You book, and
yes.
it's amazing, and you get like such a deep scope of each chapter.
Mhm.
Like every one of those book clubs, it's like almost a new chapter, which is really cool. So I'm excited
Mhm.
about doing this with you,
Cool.
and
Me
you know,
too.
we'll see what shows up.
Yes.
So we'll post somewhere. We'll post everywhere and share it with your friends. And it doesn't have to be access only. Like,
Mm-mm.
this is for everybody.
Mhm. And can you put also maybe here where they can get your book, maybe through your link?
Oh,
I
sure.
think that way they can maybe start reading it, or if they have
Yeah.
questions and
And I'm going to confess I was a bit of an idiot initially because Julie was telling me about her book and I thought it was uh, Beauty and the Breakup, like Beauty and the Beast.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, well, Julie's clearly the beauty. And it's like, oh, what's going on with the breakup? But um, the title is more about, the title is more not about like Julie as the beauty, but it's more about like what beauty can you find in the breakup. And as you said a couple minutes ago, like it's more about tools for the relationship. It's not pushing you towards relationship. It's not or toward breakup. It's not encouraging breakup. It's more about like taking a good hard look at your relationship and what's going on for you and where can you find that beauty in the situation regardless. You know, it's not encouraging a breakup. I mean, it's in the title, but
Yeah.
that's not it.
It's and it's like stopping breaking up with yourself, really. It's a very kind book. The way it came through, it's very kind and very gentle, non-judgmental, and it's just like, you know, what works for you. Nobody's telling you what to do.
Mhm.
And you can, you know, for years, I actually used the access tools for 5 years before I chose to break up my marriage of 20 years. So, and I was in a huge amount of judgment of myself that I couldn't make the marriage work perfectly using the tools. I thought, well, I must be doing something wrong if I can't make this better. I mean, it was better, but it wasn't working. And supposedly access consciousness tools like change everything, but I wasn't allowing it to change in a way that I didn't want it to change, meaning I didn't want to have to break up. I wanted to fix it. That's not actually creating change. So using the tools that I wrote in the book allowed the transition to be really, really easy. Like once I finally committed to me and choosing my lighter and brighter future, it just, unraveled with ease.
Awesome.
And
So you're doing a book club on this?
We're
yes,
talking about it.
we're in the creation of it. It's coming soon. It'll probably be in the Beauty and the Breakup Facebook group that we've had for a while. It just hasn't had a whole lot of energy in there, but now it's talking to me. So.
Mhm.
And also, you have an upcoming class as well. Is it the same commitment class or is it different?
Yes, committing to your living. And we're sort of altering the title, like committing to your sparkly, joyful living.
Mhm.
Because that's really what it's about. It's at the end of July, online.
I was just gonna say, like, that's such a crazy thing that you feel that you have to adjust that, because so many people have bought into miserable living. Like living is just a miserable, horrible thing, and committing to your living, people they haven't all they just don't know that sparkly awesome is possible. You know,
I think for a lot of
committing,
people,
yeah.
for a lot of people, they're committing to their maintaining of their living. So they're maintaining what's been going on. They're maintaining what's, what they feel is working, instead of like, well, what else is possible? What? I can have sparkly joy in my living. What? I can choose fun in my living. So yeah, it's like really bringing something new, something possible. And I love sparkly joy. Like, yeah, like you can have that even in the midst of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I just there's a
for
Sunday night.
What?
Yeah. No, there's a Sunday night show in the U.S. The John Oliver show on HBO, but there was an interchange between two people where it was like, let's just finish it so we can go back on with our miserable lives. And it was understood that like 2020 is just everyone's miserable life. Like that should be the sign off for everything. Like, oh, like just get on with your miserable life. And I was dumbfounded to realize that people have decided that miserable living is the default. Like that's and so it's so crazy that you have to adjust the title to add sparkly, fun, amazing, anything positive.
Well,
I mean, positives, whatever, but like,
just to make it more of an invitation for people, because the word committing is daunting, and I guess it isn't something that you're going to choose unless you want to change something. So this isn't for the faint of heart, although it's not hard. Once you choose it, it's easy. It's like once you jump, you fly. But it's like the getting up to that level where you're about to jump is what people hold back from all the time. So I'm just trying to soften it and make it enticing.
You heard Dane talk about that as well, is that he made this new $50 a month thing that people wouldn't sign up for.
Yeah.
And it was because they're unwilling to make the choice. It's not that it's expensive. It's that it's easy, and it provides them a different way to be. And just like you said, it's not difficult. It's easy. It just requires choice and commitment.
So don't
Yeah.
choose the class. Don't expand your life. Don't close the back door. You might be too happy and then people won't like you.
So all these fun things coming up are going to be put on the group, I assume.
Yeah, we can do that.
The
And
book club, the class, where to buy the book, how to get Cindy to sign your book.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
there's
so,
a paragraph in there that she shared about an example with me and my husband. That was like, oh, that is so cool. I remember sharing that with you. That was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So for $20 extra, you can get Cindy to sign that paragraph for you.
And I'll send it.
Nice. Wow. It's really good to see you again.
Good to see you too. It's good to
It's,
be in the mix of your
you're-
guys' energy. It's so yummy. I love it.
You're like a little tiny little bit more professional looking because you knew it was Facebook Live.
I actually brushed my hair today because usually we'd get up and I'd be in my bun and
It's all right.
okay,
I mean, you look great. You look great. It's
Thank you. Thank you.
better than some other people over here. These people.
Who, where?
I don't know. It only works for me, I guess, but Julie's right there.
Oh,
no, you're pointing the wrong direction.
you're right here for
On
me.
my screen.
Julie's over here.
Whatever.
So read the book, Nate.
You know, it's really just that sparkly being that comes out, and that's the thing that I love so much. With everything that we do, whether it's access, I mean, from what I see, whether it's access or putting a pair of earrings or a necklace on somebody, or, you know, rearranging their room or whatever makes that being and the joy come through. That's what I love.
Mm-hmm.
And just, you know, hanging out together also creates
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yes.
So
We're gonna have to set up a secret coffee time that's not on Monday,
Yes,
just
and
to
it
hang
won't
out
be.
and be casual.
We could really.
you know what? Let's do this. Okay.
We'll charge for that one, huh? No.
Yeah, we're gonna do Coffee Talk private.
Yes.
So
Ooh.
they can have like real deep facilitation if they like, and do the private talk.
Don't go there, Nate. Don't go there, Nate. No. Just
We'll
kidding.
talk
I was
about
given a list of forbidden topics. I'm sticking to it.
I text him the list. No. Right on. Too much fun.
Oh wow. I can't believe you have to go already. You have another thing.
I have another
I'm
one.
sorry.
I know. Well, I'll have to
I
jump
can
on
call you
again.
back
This was
after.
fun. What was that?
You
call
can
you
jump
back
on
after.
anything you want, Cindy.
Thank you. I
Is that
guess.
too much? Did I push it too much? Did I push?
Oh, geez.
I'll have to join you guys again for another threesome. Thank you. That was fun.
Yay!
Make my morning. Woo!
All right. Cindy, thank you so
All
much
right.
for coming.
Thank you. Adore you
And
guys.
sorry. Yes. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye, Jill.
All right.
And
we'll
you too,
see you
Julie.
next week.
Enjoy. Yes. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.